Welcome to Now That's Debatable, coming at you again with the new style format. This week we're going to be taking on the ever infamous Trump situation, and we'll clarify because there's often many Trump situations going on.
Yeah, which
Specifically,
one?
yeah, specifically we're going to be talking about the 36 counts that
Yeah.
he was recently indicted for, involving the transportation, housing, storing, and sharing of classified documents that belong to the National Archives, where they should have been safely stored the entire time. So let's get into it.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm glad you specified that indictment because even if you said the indictment, we'd have to say which one
Yeah.
because let's not forget he was also indicted by New York State, but this federal indictment is far more serious, right?
Also, there's probably going to be an indictment from Georgia for the tampering of votes, but again, that's a future thing. At least as the recording of this video, that's a future thing.
and the January 6th thing is still going on,
Yeah,
and who knows what else might happen
yeah.
between now and then. Because like, do we really think that this is all that he's actually done? No, there's something else that's gonna pop up. But yeah, so like 37 counts. Uh,
Technically
miss.
36 counts against Trump himself,
Okay,
37 counts against Nada. But
okay,
that's just to throw it out there.
yeah, yeah. And so like in relation to mishandling, to put things lightly, mishandling. What he really did was like he so most of these documents were top secret SCI, sensitive compartmented information, which means that type of information you can only view inside a SCIF, right? Which is a sensitive compartmented information facility. There's a SCIF. It's like a lockdown building. There's no windows.
Cell
It's
phones aren't allowed inside. Like, you're not
yeah,
allowed
cell
to
phone.
take cameras
Yeah,
in, nothing.
exactly. And so yeah, you can't bring in any sort of like media or anything like that. And even if you did bring in a device, a lot of times the building is covered in lead, and so electromagnetic radiation can't come in or leave the building. So you're not gonna really get a signal. Like it's really secure. So anyway, he took these documents and took them to his house, and y'all seen the news. Like it gets crazy. What my thing was is that I think it's hilarious that he's still running for president. Like this is totally unprecedented. Where you
Well, I mean,
have
I think I think the media and consensus agree, and I think this is what I genuinely think this is what his thoughts are. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I think if he thinks that if he runs for president and wins before
he
he's
can make
found guilty, he will be able to pardon himself from any crimes that he
yes.
may have committed.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I think that's exactly what he wants to do. Like if not, maybe not even give himself a full pardon, but as president, obstruct as much as he possibly can. And then this could be like firing prosecutors who are in charge. I mean, some of the stuff that Nixon was doing.
Yeah, I mean,
So
let's not forget that he will have the power to assign federal court judges. He'll have the,
yes,
I mean, he had. If you become president, you get a lot of power, and
yeah,
it's balanced out. But at the same time, like, you have presidential vetoes on bills. You have the ability to write in essentially not necessarily new laws, but you can put forward dictums that people need to follow. For instance, Barack Obama, who put forward the laws on maintaining and handling classified documents
yeah. Well,
that could have been literally overwritten by Donald Trump.
what's funny is that even if even if convicted and sentenced to prison, right? Because I think he's facing like total of like 400 years or something like that. Which there's no way he's
That
gonna
would
get
be
that.
no. If
That
I recommend, if highly recommend. There's a video that just put out actually by a
Mhm,
guy that I follow named Legal Eagle. He's a
mhm.
lawyer. He gets one of his lawyer friends who works in the federal jurisdiction to come in and actually work out all the math and he's like, I'm never gonna do this again because it's just
Yeah.
annoying. But
Oh, but this is what he does. He explained like the sentencing guidelines and
yep,
everything.
he goes over the
Yeah,
sentencing guidelines. He
gotcha.
shows like if there's a previous criminal history, how that
Yeah,
changes.
that
Explains that
that's
there are
that's
multipliers for like increased number of crimes and all that fun stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah. So like, all of that's really important. So like, so because of like federal sentencing guidelines, it's unlikely that he would get any more than 20 years.
yeah, I think
So
17 and a half was the
yeah,
supposed
yeah,
average.
yeah. So like, but if you were to stack them all, and if he
Yeah,
would got maximum
and,
sentencing, he faced like 400 years or something. But
yeah,
even if he was given and he was in prison, that wouldn't stop him from being president. Like he could still be elected. So like the Constitution is pretty clear about the criteria for being president. You have to be a natural born citizen,
and
which
35
is
years old.
yes, that is it.
That's it.
That's it. Like the only thing that could disqualify you is if you've been convicted on an impeachment, and he hasn't. So
Yep.
you gotta get that. That's it. So you, he could be running things from prison. This don't tell him how that work. I'm not sure, but
So
it.
let me while we still have a couple minutes left, let me ask you this because I know, and if it's okay with you, I will share a generic information about you and the fact that you have access to documents. And if it's okay, I'll share
Sure.
just generically. I won't call you out and I won't dox you. But given your job, you have access to documents that may be of secret nature or even top secret nature. What would happen to a civilian if, let's say hypothetically, you got caught with a handful, not 300 documents like we have in
Uh-huh.
the situation of Trump, but
Oh
just
yeah.
one or two documents. You took them home and you left them on your coffee table, and somebody came by and saw them and
Oh.
reported you.
Oh yeah.
What would
You're
happen?
gonna. Oh, you're gonna get hit with the book. I mean, like is immediate revocation of your security clearance. That it's gonna spell trouble. Like and this what happened with Trump is even of course the scenario you gave wasn't as serious as with Trump because it didn't include a dozen requests from the FBI to return the documents
No, this was just
and then
like
hide.
somebody reported the fact that you had them.
Yeah, yeah. It's like this is just accidental. I'm just like, oh, whoops. I put this was in. I accidentally took this home. No, you're gonna get hit with the book. And so, like for you people who's claiming that he's being treated unfairly, I agree. He is being treated unfairly. He's being treated as a privileged person because he was released without bond. He didn't have to give up his his passport.
Passports,
Yeah, he had to
or he
surrender it.
has
Yeah,
he has access to a private jet.
yeah,
I mean,
right.
the guy could literally just take off and
He
fly
can
if he
just
wanted to.
and just leave. Yeah, right. I mean, and it makes no sense. But so he's definitely not being treated fairly. He's being treated privileged. Like and you people who are supporting him and doing this foolishness. Like understand you would not get the same treatment at
No.
all.
And by
That
the way, that should be very abundantly clear to you as the contents and the case of January 6th develops, because people are getting plea deals and bargains for prison time, whereas Trump is literally doing nothing while waiting trial.
yeah,
Like
he's
people
not
are
trying.
literally they're bargaining right now for less sentencing time in the January 6th attacks, or whatever you want to call it, the incident that happened on January 6th at the Capitol building. And if you look into it at all, you'll notice that people are already making plea deals and plea bargains. And that's not something that Trump has done. He refuses to take a plea bargain. He refuses to take a plea deal. And when you have literally millions of people sending them their money to support him and paying his lawyer fees, which he's admitted to redirecting money from his campaign to pay for his lawyer fees, because a few of his lawyers have quit and some of them have been, oh yeah, arrested. Um
Yeah, yeah. Also being charged with obstruction.
yeah,
It
so
is
when you have this
hilarious.
situation happening, just so you know, everybody that was at the January 6th Capitol riots, you probably don't have millions of people sending you money on a regular basis to help pay your lawyer fees. So you end up getting very hurt and in a lot of trouble because you can't afford quite literally dozens of lawyers and entire legal teams at your disposal. They're getting paid for by people that have no clue or are completely ignoring the laws that have been broken. So, just something to consider, and obviously, this is going to be a talked about subject. And as of this date, and as the day of this recording, at least, he hasn't put in a plea bargain. We know for a fact that there are recordings that have been put out of him talking about how he could have declassified documents that were not declassified. He was showing them to people that did not have security clearances. They have been identified by Jack Smith and special counsel. There are undoubtedly laws broken. Will he get punished for it? That is up for debate, and I guess we'll see when it happens.
But he
Should he
definitely
be
did it.
should he be punished for it? Yeah,
Yeah.
because if we set the precedent that he should not be punished for it, what we're essentially saying in America is that someone is above the law.
Yes. So if you were ever screaming "lock her up"
Yep.
in regard to Hillary,
Over emails in which only 3 contained confidential and none of them were marked on page 1 and none of them were sent by her.
mm-hmm. And
Not
also
one.
she right, and then she cooperated the entire time. She didn't deny a dozen requests from the FBI. She didn't try to hide the documents afterwards.
Yeah, and
So
which like over 300 emails contain partial or pieces of confidential information, and only 3 were marked with the lowest level of security, and they did not originate from her email.
yeah.
If you screamed lock her up, or if you go back and you watch the debate when Trump says we should push hard on her and put her in prison, and you agreed with Trump then, comment on this video and tell me why you don't agree with him now.
Please do. Please tell me why it's okay to show Iran attack plans to Kid Rock, which
Yeah.
possibly happened, but we don't know. Either way, we know it was shown to people who didn't have any clearance at all. It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. If you guys are liking the format, you know the drill. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Hopefully, these are a little easier to digest. We're trying to stay very specific to our topic. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in.